Right. Make it real. Yeah. I don't need to freak out, but yeah. So the people are like calling me this year. There's a whole 56 months later. Yeah. She present?
We got 9 o'clock on July 20th, 2026 in the Chickasaw County Courthouse in the boardroom. You will call the supervisors meeting to convene. Roll call, all members are present along with Board Secretary Sheila Shackleton. Is there a motion to approve today's agenda as published on Friday last week? Moved by Travis, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Isaac. Motion by Travis, second by Isaac to approve today's agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Approve the minutes from July 13th, 2026. There was what we saw Friday, there was a correction made on consensus to reach out to HR regarding some questions on the clerk. Still in the process of doing that, so just wanted to reflect the minutes for that. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So. Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Steve to approve the minutes from July 13th, 2026. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Just gonna add this right here. Review new mileage rates set for the IRS.
So last week, it was brought to my attention that the IRS upped their business miles to 76 cents per mile, where we had 72. But looking back at the motion of January 2nd, or is it 2nd? When we did this?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2nd. That our motion was by Brightbox, seconded by Carter, to set the mileage reimbursement at 72.5 cents miles, and to set the per diem meal reimbursement for outside county, Chickasaw County limits, with the procurement of a detailed receipt and being outside the county for more than 4 hours. And then you guys all motioned for it. Nothing was mentioned to stay the same as the IRS rate, but this is totally up to you guys. I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. IRS did change it. In the years past, we did make an adjustment. Don't have to. Years prior, it was always 10 cents below the IRS rate. I think the last 4 or 5 years, we went to the IRS rate. People that need maybe the additional cost would be anybody that uses their personal vehicle for home care, homemakers, going to a meeting. Unless you guys see 72.5 is just fine. It does add up, but I don't know if it's going to request a budget amendment for some of those departments. You guys want to think about it, but that's what has been changed. If you guys want to take the last 5.5 months to adjust it or leave it at the 72.5. Any thoughts, feelings?
I think we probably need to be know what the IRS rate is, in my feeling is.
I mean, we could maybe bump it up a little bit, just, I mean, for me, just to get off the 72.5, just 73, 74, but I don't know if we need to go all the way to 76.
I did look it up, just a trip to Des Moines will add about $10 for a meeting. But people that travel a lot, 3.5 cents, right? Yeah. So Travis or Isaac, got any concerns or?
I don't feel I mean, 3.5 cents.
To move it or stay?
No, leave it alone.
Okay.
I mean,
But you're having to move the numbers 73. So yeah, I've heard 3 people to adjust it. You know, they are using their own personal vehicles. Nothing's staying low, you know, tires and oil changes and gasoline and cost of vehicles. I don't know if we need to be at that much of an increase. I don't know if you guys want to go to 74 or something. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Is there a motion to move? If there is,
I make a motion to raise it to 73 cents.
second.
motion by Scott, second by Isaac to adjust the mileage per mile to 73 cents. Effective today.
Effective today.
Well, could you give us like a week to get all the new forms? 73 cents.
Effective, what that's what if you wanna do next Monday.
August 1.
August 1.
August 1, yeah, that's right.
That's your motion, Scott. August 1st.
Yep.
Everybody understand the motion?
So we're gonna adjust it to 73 cents
On August 1st
on August
for
1st.
mileage thereafter. Any other discussion? Roll call. Scott, Isaac,
Aye.
Travis, Steve,
No.
Jake, I motion carried 4-1. Thanks, guys. 905, any written or other comments that signed in?
None have been written, no.
Any other comments from department heads? No.
Yeah, unless you want an update on our new policy for the agendas, I haven't got anything out to anybody yet because I'm waiting for a new email account. It was brought to my attention, it'd probably be easier if we just had a new email account for everybody to send it to. So I didn't want to confuse the townships and everybody by sending out 2 notes for it, so.
So I think Denny's working on that to get one email account, so all these associations that belong to the county board of supervisors can email, and then her staff can monitor that email account
Correct.
to get that posting.
Can I just jump in there? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I was working with a couple trustees last week on 2 projects. Is it fair to say that 2026, everyone has email, or should there be a line in there that they could also hand deliver it within 48 hours? I just worry that some of our more seasoned people in the community that may not have internet or be adept to emailing agendas like PDFs and Word documents, if they can print it and then bring it into you, let's, in the escape valve.
I guess
Just in
I
case.
wouldn't have a problem with
Okay.
that, but I was worried about the history. You know, that we could look back, you know, like
Right.
when the auditors come, have I sent my minutes to the newspaper? They come and they look at the newspaper and they see all the dates and all the minutes that have been sent. So, I mean, I'm totally okay with it.
If they could either email to that address or hand deliver to the auditor's office.
So should I put that in the policy?
That's what these guys, I mean, I don't know, maybe we're got to the point where email's ubiquitous and it's not an issue, but I am nervous some of these smaller groups might not quite be there yet.
I would say they're probably not there yet. Some of those township,
Yeah, we don't
even
want to
some
work
cities,
that.
right?
Right,
We have a city that requests paper copy on everything.
right. So I don't know if maybe you put that in there just in case, they can still hand deliver within 48 hours, email or hand deliver.
So I can bring it, I'll bring it back next week or
We'll need to policy finalize that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have
That's just what I was thinking.
And then maybe we'll have
They
to,
will be scanned in so that you'll have record of it.
Oh, when you bring it in, you can scan it in then and then have a record.
well, I have to scan it in. You're
Correct.
right,
Yeah,
because
that's
to
what
put it on the
Same
website.
process.
Yeah, okay, so hand deliver and then,
Is an option within that 48 hours. We can bring it back next week to add that.
okay, that's a good idea.
We do have a minute here. Do you guys want to approve the quarterly reports for EMS and Veteran Services? Any questions? Veterans Affairs, we'll see zero.
You want to do them separately or together?
Last week we did all three together.
I'll make a motion to approve the U.S. Veteran Service quarterly report. Sorry.
Motion by Travis, second by Scott to approve the quarterly reports ending June 30th, 2026 for the departments of EMS and Veteran Services. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. All right, 9:10, meet with New Hampton Transfer and Storage, Jonas Sugarrath. Good morning, Jonas.
Good morning, guys.
Two things that we'll put on the agenda was discuss bids for phase 2 of the water main and then discuss the county's participation if funding, in funding the project. So go ahead, Jim.
So thank you guys all for your time. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, Sheila, for getting me on the agenda. I just had short notice. So thank you guys so much for your time here. I appreciate the opportunity to work and give you guys an update on phase 2 on this. Last week, Tuesday, we had the bid letting and we had 7 approved bids that ranged anywhere from $235,300 to $434,285. So, sorry. I was really encouraged by the results of having 7 different contractors bid. I think with the help of Dave, it worked exactly as we hoped. It established a true market cost for the project. As many of you guys know, we've been working with the city on this for quite a few years. And so the city has actually already previously committed to splitting the project 50-50. And then the city also would be willing to work through a 28E agreement with the county as well. I think if the county, if we want to adjust the funding structure. But on my side, I think this project truly benefits more than just NHTS. I think it improves fire protection for businesses on the north side of New Hampton. It strengthens our public water infrastructure. It supports future commercial and industrial growth and also expands the tax base not only for the city of New Hampton, but for the county as well. So I also want to be very clear that we need to put our money where our mouth is too, and that we need to put some skin in the game. So I have no problem throwing my hat in the ring as well. But at the same point in time, I don't believe this is solely a private expansion. Like I said, I think it's gonna support long-term growth in the county and in the city limits. It's gonna help not only existing businesses, but future businesses as well. It's gonna help with public safety. I think we've touched on fire prevention with Advantage and 5-Star, 2 of the largest petroleum storage facilities in Chickasaw County right there, plus a lumberyard. And so just with my experience on the fire department too, there's not a lot of water available rapidly at 5-Star or Advantage or on the north side of New Hampton. So my recommendation is pretty simple. I was just hoping that the county, the city, and NHTS can kind of get together on this project. And I truly believe a shared investment is probably the way forward because I think all 3 parties can receive a benefit while also reducing the burden to each individual if we work together. So like I said, I think it's a unique opportunity for all 3 parties to work together, but I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. Basically, is this something that the county would have interest in helping support?
Did the route change?
No. So that's one of the parts that I actually struggle with is we're going right along the west side of Devell's property and then along the north side of Devell's property, the south side of 5-Star property, then we actually have to double back. This was basically a requirement of Devell because they didn't want to limit their future growth, which I fully understand. You know, you can't expand over an existing water line. So I understand it from a business development standpoint that they didn't want to limit that, but that also added almost 1,000 linear feet of pipe that had the original layout been approved. You know, when you break it down to the price per square foot, that's about an additional 100,000 in just labor and pipe that wouldn't have been required if we could have cut it short. But I understand from their perspective too, why limit their growth potential. So no, the existing route is the one that's been approved.
So my job is to do some research. I shared with the board this morning a copy of our pool cash, our county betterment fund, of local option sales tax. If that's the way this board wants to move forward. I think we should see what New Hampton does. Is it on the city council?
Yes, yep. So we're meeting tonight. I believe it's 7 o'clock at the city council.
So the low bid was 235,300.
Correct, sir. That was, I don't know if it matters, that was from Plaza Corporation.
Okay. You guys can share your thoughts, but I will declare my conflict of interest again. Just because this water line does adjacent my property on North Canty. So with that being said, any board member wants to discuss this potential sharing project? It would benefit me way too much. I'm not even gonna go into it, so I'm done. But I give you guys the resources to have discussion.
Yeah, I'm not sure as a member of the board of directors, 5-star lighting should be added.
That's totally your opinion. I don't know what to say either.
From the fire prevention standpoint, when the dryer caught on fire up at 5-star, we were shoveling water all the way from the corner of Milwaukee. So we had all of Northland completely shut down, and the fire department has dramatically improved the quality and efficiency of the equipment since I've gotten off the department. Now they've got ladder trucks and better pumper trucks and better tankers, but still the well that you guys have on site, the pump that's in that well would be less than adequate, less than preferred if a fire were to happen at 5-star, Advantage, Mitco, Bernauer's, Wagner Brothers.
Yeah,
We'd be shutting down from Milwaukee north again.
if the power shut off and the bulb wasn't doing good.
100% as well. Yeah, I mean, from a fire preventative standpoint, it's always better to hook up to a hydrant and have copious amounts of water rather than trying to pull from a dry hydrant or from a well.
I can jump in. I'm not gonna, I've been involved with this since the beginning, since Sean was up here a couple months ago. And I did sketch out a 2080 agreement between the city and the county back then, and then we had to pump the brakes because we discovered some problems with the project. So I've been involved with Travis and Casey, Todd Pritchard and everyone from the beginning and throughout the whole process of bidding. And they did it right, which is good, and did it correctly. So I have a 2080 sketched out. I'm not gonna weigh in on whether or not you guys should give them money. And if so, from which account that should be funded. But I do think it's legal for you to do so. I think the 2080 spells out that the purpose of this is to promote, stimulate economic development, promote the general welfare of the community, and improve public safety through the joint exercise of powers. So I do think there's a public purpose for it. And I would support and have the documents ready if and when you guys decide to fund, but I'm not gonna wait on that. If that's a question of whether or not you can do it, legally, I think you can, and structurally, I think you can.
I do also want to go on record and say thank you to Mr. Laudner. Endless thanks, because without his expertise and professional opinion, I would have been lost. So truly, thank you so much, sir, for all your help and your guidance.
I share numbers, and so I gave you guys a county betterment fund. You guys know what was budgeted for the cold storage building and the half payment for EMS. You do the math, there's some money there if that's the way you guys see fit. Last year I checked with Sheila, last year the loss, which was voted on by the people of the rural citizens to use that for county betterment. If that's the fund, that's the fund, if you guys want, but it running last year, $107,000. Travis, have anything, or Scott, or Isaac?
The city will, once the pipe's in the ground, the city will maintain it, or?
Yeah, that's what 2080 structure. 2080 is the obligations of the city, or all the bid letting documents and stuff sketched out right now, at least unless you guys want to change it, but it's sketched out. The city will do all the work. Bid letting, they'll be the general contractor that hold everything. The obligations of the county are to fund it and then to allow access to the right of way, because it'll be on our right of way, in the county portion. Not only for the installation, but also for any future maintenance. That's how it's sketched out right now. It's pretty straightforward.
How are you looking at splitting it up?
In my elementary head, it'd be a 3-way partnership, but that's obviously, I'm willing, how do I say this professionally? Without this water main, we're literally dead in the water. We cannot grow anymore on our existing site. We have future plans for 4 more 50,000 square foot warehouses, which right now they're averaging $46,000 to $48,000 tax base every year. Without that, we have to look elsewhere. So I don't want to do that. The company's literally called New Hampton Transfer and Storage. I'd like to stay here. So So that's my overall goal. In my head, a three-way partnership would be great.
Roughly 78.5 per.
Yeah, yep. But again, that's just my head. So,
Did you say that Hampton had already committed something, or are you gonna?
yeah, so the way we kind of worked this out with Casey Maine, the city is at one point, they had committed up to 50% of the project. I think after speaking with Casey last week, they'd be willing to kind of go into the 2080 agreement with you guys as well to see if, you guys would be interested in partnering this as well.
I think you can do it one of two ways. If you want to do it, you decide today, hey, we're willing to commit X. See what the city does and how Jonas reacts with that number, or you could just sit on your hands and say, hey, we're willing to commit something. Get a consensus to commit something, but wait and see what the city decides to do tonight. I mean, I have no idea what they're gonna do. I don't think Jonas does either.
I don't know either. And
It's kind of a first mover. It's their project, quite frankly. So, I mean, I don't think there's any impetus on you to move today. If you have a number in mind, hey, we're willing to commit as of today up to whatever. I think those are the two options, yeah.
Just for the clerical side of it is pending, public hearing on a budget amendment. It is not property tax. If you guys use that fund, it's local option sales tax, which the people of the rural part gave us the authority to do that. But we still have to do the paperwork and get a budget amendment done and a public hearing set.
I guess I can see a benefit to it. I mean, it's a three-way split, I guess I'd be fine with that.
Just to clarify, Dave, this is a city project.
Yeah, they're the ones doing all the lending, they're the ones all the bidding. The 2080 agreement basically says your obligations are twofold. One, you're gonna pay up, and then two, you're gonna allow them access onto your right of way to install the.
But I think we ought to probably wait, and see, make sure the city's all good with everything tonight.
Are they acting on the 2080s tonight or they're just?
No one's seen the 2080, so I mean.
Okay,
I mean, sure,
okay.
no, it's just sketched out. I have it all drafted.
Gotcha.
But I was waiting to see, we had to hit the brakes in the project when I first started this, so.
Isaac, any?
Yeah, I'd be okay with it. It's a three-way split as well. Yeah, see what they say tonight, because I think it's needed, just the businesses that are out there for.
The city's gonna own pipe.
yes, sir, and maintain it.
Yep.
And they've already got an easement in place with Bell. We've already given them an easement on ours. The water line is actually, phase one is already done on our property, coming all the way to the north side of our property. Phase two is gonna loop on Bell and then south side of 5-Star, north side of Bell, and then come back on Mitco's, on the east side of Northland and Mitco and Wagner Brothers property.
Can you assure that there's gonna be a fire hydrant on both sides of Lynn?
Yep, so I know I'm pretty sure there's one going right by the corner of your property, in the corner of 5-Star and Bell. And then I know we're adding two on our property, and we've actually discussed with Casey bringing them down to the flat part of our yard and then kind of surrounding them with barricades, concrete barricades, so that not only can the city hook up to those instead of being on the highway with the risk of cars and traffic and then going down into the ditch to get it. Just from a safety perspective, I said, go ahead and use our yard. We'll put barricades around it, but you guys can hook an LDH right up to the hydrant, our large diameter hose right up to the hydrant, and then run it to the truck. So yeah, I know there's gonna be 2 additional hydrants on our site. And I believe there's also one on the south side of 5-Star, Bell, north side of Bell, and then another one to the far west.
I don't know if I have a copy of I'm sure I do in this file, of the most recent specs and deadline documents, but that might be helpful to.
Yeah.
Send out to those guys.
Yep, I can do that as well. I'm pretty sure there's actually 1, 2 right on the corner, as it comes a little bit closer north to the light plant and the corner of Bell's property as well. Cause I think at one point Casey mentioned putting a heated valve in there for future hookup to run west on Milwaukee.
I guess I would ask why he's sitting here, county engineer, if there's any issues with us, with that project, because I have to get our permission, even if you guys don't fund it. One would suspect they're gonna have to come to us to ask for permission to put it in there, because it's your.
Yeah, they'd have a utility permit.
Correct.
No, I don't see any issues. I'm sure it's gonna be deep enough. There's not really any structures on there. Aside from some culverts, so shouldn't be an issue with anything in terms of my office.
Do you have any other?
Well, I mean, I'm afraid of doing something, I guess I'd just rather wait to see what the city decides tonight first before I just disclose the dollar amount.
Do you guys give permission to have the county attorney submit the 2080? Has Todd Pritchard seen it?
It's, I'll leave it in my file.
Do you want that direction to work with the city of New Hampton? If that's what this-
If you guys wanna. But I'm hearing mixed messages, we're gonna wait, see what they're gonna do tonight, or, I mean, I can send a draft with Todd today, so you can at least see what it looks like, but.
That's what you guys want to do?
So far I have a consensus that we're gonna wait, so if you wanna do a motion for direction for David.
So I'll just wrap up. I think there's a consensus to do something, Jonas, for you and the city of New Hampton. And for all those other businesses along that route, as a general purpose to the county. I didn't hear any funding accounts yet. But I did talk about county betterment. Is there a motion then to direct the county attorney to share the 2080 agreement with the city attorney of New Hampton? And then pending what the city talks about tonight, to get back to us on changes to the 2080, and then maybe insert a number at future agendas.
There's no number in there now.
Correct.
Nor account, it's just X dollars for next year.
I'm not gonna try to repeat all that, but I'll make that.
Okay.
Would you guys like a full copy of the engineering, or is that not needed?
I think we should have it at some point.
Okay.
Just to, we're gonna probably get some feedback from citizens, on all parts of the county. But I think this benefits the whole north of Chickasaw County. I'm
I would
talking
agree,
Washington Township, Jacksonville, even those other rural fire departments.
yeah.
If there's a emergency, they want water. They need water.
And if there is a large fire, you're gonna be calling mutual aid anyway, so it'd be really nice to have a hydrant or multiple hydrants in the proximity to hook up to. And we'd be hooking up to the 14 in town, which is the largest main in town.
We do have a motion. Is there a second? Sorry, I missed that. My bad.
Okay.
Would it be best just to forward the full engineering to you, Sheila, and then you can just, okay, I can do that.
And then I'll take it. give it to
Perfect.
everybody.
Thank you,
So
ma'am.
I'll recap. Motion by Scott, second by Travis, to allow our county attorney to present the 2080 draft to the city of New Hampton, city attorney, for resources tonight at their meeting. Number undetermined yet, but potential project moving forward.
Someone gonna go to the meeting.
I
Or are
can-
we okay? Are we okay? I mean,
I
if
can-
someone's watching, I'm guessing, and he's gonna get the message that there's a consensus to fund something, and that by Senate, I'll talk to Todd.
Yeah, I can attend. If there's any questions on the board. Any other discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call. Scott?
Aye.
Travis? Isaac?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Jake will abstain from this discussion. Thanks, Jonas.
Thank you guys very much.
Oh, you have to stay.
I won't melt, I promise.
This battery died.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, see ya.
Have a good day.
Next thing is treasurer and Iceberg. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
Semi-annual report ending June 30th.
Pass the word up. Right about $3 million from where we were at the end of last fiscal year. About 2/3 of that was the wind turbine capital project money that's sitting. So that's kind of where most of that extra money came from. If you guys have any other questions on it.
Yeah, just a comment about those two TIF projects, we received the bond money, so, those are gonna be showing up in our account now. And some of the expense, or mostly all the expense has not been taken out yet, so
Oh. All,
some things, like B-22 is, yeah.
Yeah.
And then cold storage, or engineer's
This is
office.
really good.
Any
So
questions?
that money also, because we have a few extra million, and we're also drawing interest on that, and everything, so that's increasing the balance of some too.
Any other questions on the Iowa Chickasaw County's Treasurer Semi-Annual Report dated June 30th, 2026? And this motion will also make it published in the paper.
Yes.
Oh. Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Steve to approve the County Treasurer's Semi-Annual Report dated June 30th, 2026. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried.
Can I have you sign this? You're choosing for me.
I just had one other quick item.
Yeah.
So I just got the fiscal, or the report from the state DOT for last fiscal year for motor vehicle fees. So we were up $54,000 last year because starting in January of 2025, we increased the motor vehicle fees. So that was the first full fiscal year. So we were up 54,000 there. The driver's license, we were down $4,000. So we also had some time where that wasn't open as much as we were hoping to, but we're back to having a full appointment schedule there now. And then as far as titles issued, we were up 9% over the previous fiscal year. So just some numbers there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next thing is Engineer Roman Munson, Warren Roman. Couple things to act on. Review and act on resolution 720-26-45 in support of a joint CHVP grant agreement.
Yeah, so this is a 2080 with the DOT, basically acknowledging our cooperation with them being the lead applicant / recipient on the proposed grant application that we're hoping to get roughly $1 million for Chickasaw County for bridge replacement on Bridge 19980, which is on Exeter south of Highway 18.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 45?
No. Second.
Motion by Isaac, second by Steve to approve resolution 720-26-45 in support of a joint CHBP grant agreement. Any discussion? If not, roll call. Isaac.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Jake. Aye. Motion is carried. Review quotes for HMA patching on B18.
So this would be on the south end of Alta Vista where our overlay, terminated concrete overlay south, the HMA overlay to the north, 917 feet. Heartland had the low quote at $34,245. Massey came in at $51,404.05. Back calculating this versus what we paid in 2024 for the portion within Alta Vista, or more so to the north and then the west, it's actually a better price than we got then, which floored me. But hopefully in the next 2 years, possibly 3, we redo that whole stretch. Basically from there all the way to county line on B18 is probably one of the least favorite roads in the county for people who drive it. But I would say if we want to do the south portion and the price seems right, the time seems right, you know, alleviate 2 to 3 years of bumps on that short stretch. You know, I'm not saying do all the way down.
Yeah, Roman's been talking to me about this. You know, I think we could use local option sales tax at 40%, infrastructure fund. You know, we did budget for some projects in that.
Yeah, right now there's $566,000 roughly. Sheila gave me the full cash report, obligated for secondary roads purposes currently at infrastructure fund is $200,000 in road rock, $100,000 in pipe. There is an item still in the budget from when we did this previously. So if we wanted to spend it right now, in my opinion, I think we can, and a budget amendment, we could shift some additional dollars to that that says zero right now.
The infrastructure fund is voter approved, local option sales tax, 40% is controlled by the board for secondary road projects.
We did have 3 unexpected pipe replacement projects that we're doing in the next month roughly. Those are probably gonna require an HMA patch over it as well. I'm not here to ask for those costs to come out of infrastructure fund unless you guys want them to. But regardless, I will probably need to amend my budget if we don't. I didn't anticipate having this much contractor asphalt work.
I think we did get our payment from the city of New Hampton for Kenwood.
Yep, that was about 45,000.
42,000.
So
42,000, yeah.
it's up to you guys, but I think that's where it should be funded. This is gonna help out prolong, the city of Ella Vista, sorry, it's our road. But the south side of Ella Vista, that's very in bad shape though. I know it's bad to tear it up in 2-3 years, but that's a long time from now.
I think the traveling public would appreciate a little bit of less bumps, but they're still gonna have Elma south and east Alma Vista.
Yeah, from the bridge west, it's just as bad, but
If you wanted to do that all the way up there, you might as well say $500,000.
yeah, can't do that, but.
And that'd be, I think, shocking.
Is there a motion to award it to Heartland Asphalt Inc. in the amount of $34,245 south of Ella Vista V18 and use infrastructure funds? Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Isaac to award a paving, HMA patching on V18 south of Ella Vista to Heartland Asphalt Inc. in the amount of $34,245 out of our infrastructure fund, rural roads fund.
Do you want, if I was to type up a budget amendment request or whatever for that, do you want me to include the potential cost for those 3 patches? 2 would be on the little turkey blacktop, 1 would be on the diagonal outside wall.
I think since we have 566,000 in there, you know, and every month it's adding 30,000.
35, yeah, it's around 30.
We have no other set projects. I don't know why we're not using it if we have these emergencies or needs. Unless we are gonna wait to get it up to $1 million again and let a big project.
Yeah, I mean, the last bigger one that we did was the scrub seal and slurry leveling on B54, which was beneficial to do. But, you know, in the past, we saved up enough to replace the bridge, but at that point, we weren't doing so much paving maintenance either.
All right, let's get this motion passed and then we can talk. You guys all know about the motion on the floor, Heartland Asphalt. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye, anybody opposed? Motion is carried. If there's a consensus to add a couple more projects to a budget amendment in the future, you guys okay with it?
Yeah, I guess if not, they vote down the amendment.
Great. I would just add it.
Okay.
I know we're gonna talk about that in another agenda item here shortly, but.
Okay.
So if you want to get those numbers over. All right. Discuss amending the CWEC Urban Renewal Plan. This has been talked about for like 2-3 months now. I visited with Roman about a week ago and he did work hard on it the last couple days, week. Ray still needs to work on the legal descriptions, but you guys got a copy of the,
So I did as I was told. You said everything in the New Hampton School District, and there's $145 million worth of potential costs. I figured this way you don't have your frequent amendments that add legal fees. This gives you, if the board changes and priorities change, it gives options. It's a lot of bridges, it's a lot of roads. There are a few on there that I noted, all of them for that fact, but ones that I thought about that you guys, maybe you don't want to include some of these, and those are noted. You can go into specifics if you want, but
I haven't visited with Jason Kaminsky. I did visit with Travis. You guys all got a copy of an email from Travis last Thursday. I gave you guys this morning. Let's talk about that quickly. He said we should make sense to slow down the amortization schedule on our current projects. Maybe a longer repayment term. This is affecting the law change of property tax reform. And not grab I'll just read it, and not grab all the TIF quickly to pay it off. In doing so, this will limit the amount of new construction you are taking with the TIF projects now in order to give you a larger amount of budget growth. Example, the 2% plus new construction. So I got a phone call into Travis. I know I asked Roman to sit in with it this week sometime to see how our two first projects are working out with the repayment. And then if we do a third, fourth, fifth project, what does that look like?
because I personally think, in my opinion, priority wise, T-76, the 6 miles that we embargoed, sooner than later, Alta Vista is coming up depending on that community funding for the city through Ashley Henson's office. I know our west shop bays are getting, that was in the original project for, I think, 2030 or around there.
And then Roman brought up a good question too, since we didn't use TIF to build the cold storage building, should that come out of the urban renewal plan? I don't know.
Just remove, does the B-22 project have to be in there if we amend it and it's already gonna be done or under?
Those are legal questions that I can't answer, Roman can't answer. He just got his stuff done for projects. I guess it's a lot of projects. And it takes a lot of time to look through all those. So did we ever have a consensus to add the Northland into the urban renewal plan, or did we try to keep those guys out?
You talking about Jonas's project?
So at one time we talked about to pay for Northland, could we capture the TIF on any of those commercial properties that would grow from their original base? So like future projects that Jonas would do, could we capture that TIF? Could we capture any of those other Northland commercial properties if we add them into an urban renewal plan? Or do you guys want to just keep them out and work on the 2% new construction growth for GB, GS, RSP? And this is where Travis is trying to say, do you really want to add those, or do you want them to keep it on the county side for the growth? All things to think about with the new law change on future construction, on future growth. So right now, Roman has his projects all listed, and I think it's
Well, right? Did you look on your table in your office yet, or? Sorry.
So if you guys are okay, we'll keep working forward on the new projects. This year, I think we should try to get the B-76. T-76 in the plan for sure. I don't know if you guys want to add $145 million worth of projects. An amendment is per hour with the attorneys, and a publication notice and a public hearing. And
Personally, if you can have this in, I don't see why you wouldn't. That's what we talked about after the last amendment. You never know when an emergency is gonna come up, something that wasn't foreseen. But I tried to encompass any bridge that I felt had about 15-ish years or less of life in it. And then every road that I thought would benefit in the same time frame, so. I know it's more than we're taking in, but at least we got the options in there.
Any other discussion? Just keep working on it. And we all know it's almost August, right? So we need to have that public hearing before we can, when were you thinking about letting that project? January?
Probably be similar to what we did with B-22, you know, January, February. So we could do March, but you know, I don't really like waiting that long. Contractors get full.
So I think my timeline was sometime in September to do the public hearing on the urban renewal plan update. And then work on,
Well, Travis and Jason are gonna have to get more guidance to you guys for the amortization, whatever you say.
and that's what Travis is gonna work on. He's trying to get that over the next 15, 20 years. To weigh on the budget growth factor against the interest costs on the new projects. So just giving a quick update where we're at with Travis, and we haven't even let Jason from the law firm yet know. But they did send me an email 2 weeks ago and asked us if we were still moving forward on the urban renewal plan update. And I think we are. It's just Roman is his first step, then it's moved over to Ray now to get the legal descriptions at it.
Sorry, it took me longer than I anticipated. It's just everything, all of them.
Any other thing the board can input on, or am I pull the brakes, or?
Keep moving.
Okay,
Moving.
all right. Thanks, guys. Department update, Roman.
So last week, last 2 weeks, we now have Division 1, 3, and 4 for contract rock completed. Division 4 was finished on 7/10. Division 2 has started last Monday. We're about 40% complete. Probably won't finish up this week, but I would say a good portion will be, and then next week we'll be done with contract rock. The same can be said for the rock that we're hauling ourselves, not just the spot rock, the full miles we're hauling. We're about, I think, 13,000 out of 15 hauled. Mowing hard surface round 2 is done on the west side, and then the southeast quarter is nearly completed, so round 2 should be finished up this week. Probably moved around 2 of the gravels after that. B56 box culvert project, that was opened up to traffic on last Monday. I will say our crews did an amazing job with that, pouring the concrete over the top, you know, something they're not used to doing at that scale. Everybody did a great job. Blades weren't out last week too much, aside from fixing bad spots, intersections, bridges, etc., just very dry. All in spot rock, edging shoulders. Let's see, Stevens North 130th, we closed on the 14th. That's for a railroad tanker placement. Planning on delivery tomorrow. Shouldn't take too long to wrap that up. Maybe by the end of the week or early next, that'll be opened. Design development work, Bridge 19680 south of town here. We submitted preliminary plans and hydraulic review to the DOT. B22 project East Alta Vista, the cold in place, of course, is completed on, that was done on 7/11. Last Thursday, they completed milling within the city of Alta Vista. They plan to start laying lifts of asphalt at the end of this week. We'll send another update out when we know for sure. We did submit a pay estimate for the work done up to date last week. Pavement marking started on the 13th last week. The west half of the county is fairly well completed. Not gonna see much action today. The 2026 CHPP grant submittal, 2080 was generated. There's a public input survey posted on our website. If anybody wants to take the time to fill that out, it'd be much appreciated. Working on letters of support. Submittals for a lot of this stuff is due Wednesday, so move forward with that. URP amendment stuff. Intercog meeting was last week. The week prior was more of the same. Blades were up. I guess doing routine rounds that week. Some crossroad culvert replacements. Still waiting on the 1-ton truck. I guess Sam has been contacting them repeatedly, and if there's something with their locator, they don't know. They can't really tell Sam where it's at. So he'll keep working on them. Bridge 1300 on 190th, that still is looking like a late July, so next week or even possibly early August for them to start. We did get the utility debacle with Windstream or Kinetic figured out. They relocated. I was withholding any permits from them until they got it figured out. So it's good that they moved forward because we're just about to rip the bridge out. Bridge 2000, the bridge removal is complete. That's on Vanderbilt, North Little Turkey. Bridge removal's complete. Hauling fill material in, pretty well completed. Taylor Construction should be moving in hopefully next week. They're getting charged working days regardless when they're not there, so. The engineer's office did submit pay estimate number 3. They plan to do, some more finish electrical, and then I think they're gonna put the grid in for the drop ceiling. There's a little bit of odds and ends outside on the exterior steel. Primer was painted last week, mock-up of the floor, painting of door frames. Anticipating August for the flat work outside, concrete, still hoping in that September timeframe to start moving out there. And then I did have the county engineers mid-year conference down in Ames, so it's just a day meeting on 7/9. That's all I got.
Any questions for Roman? Just a comment about an open house. It's been requested by a citizen or two, that it looks good to have open houses on any county projects. I'll work
I
with
guess we're
Roman.
open every day, so every day is an open house. That's what I don't understand.
I'll work with them if that's okay.
Every weekday.
I'll visit with you on more, so
We'll do whatever makes you guys happy. So
it's not just us.
no, I just find it kind of strange when we're open to the public every day, but isn't that kind of an open house? I don't know. As long as they don't expect like brats or anything.
So,
We did get brushing done at some of them intersections. At least to the best of our ability. Currently in winter, we'll probably brush them some more.
any other comments, concerns? I know there was some questions about moving. Can you work with our IT department and custodian? There's some just, let's work together and see if we can get this one cleaned out.
Yeah, whatever you guys want out of there, I just not quite sure if we're gonna take it yet. But if Dave has a spot where he wants it, I mean, it sounds like you guys pretty much want the gut.
Pretty much. I just think with all the countertops,
Or if there's anything that you don't want to leave, we'd like to know that.
we'll keep
Like
visiting.
the toilet, I would assume you want to keep.
Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll work with you.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Roman. Next thing is meet with Sheriff Ron Schauber. Good morning.
Good morning.
Discuss vehicle purchases for fiscal year 26-27 for the sheriff's office.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to discussion and ultimately I ask the board's request to make a couple of vehicle purchases at this fiscal year. After last week's discussion, ending fund balances, I know that we're sitting okay, and with my budget, I returned my 225, and then last year's 229. It's a little over 450,000. I given back there on my budget. Over the past 2 years, I know my budget's been reduced this year by 150. The biggest expense, and I have minus employees, is vehicles need to be constantly updated and kept up to date. My plan is historically how we do it is by just the year alone instead of overall condition, just to keep things consistent. However, I'm looking to modify that at this time just to kind of keep up the flow and the pace and replace those ones that need to be prior. So the current schedule would go by years, be mine to replace. I'm looking to skip that this year and look to replace the 21 Ram, which is currently assigned to Deputy Miller, 104,000 miles, and a 21 Durango, which is the K9 unit assigned to Steve Johnson, which currently has 110. These are, daily drivers, so they're going to continue to go up. The reason that those two are the same years, Steve's Durango used to be 20, and then it found that washout here 2 or 3 years ago. and was totaled, so I had to get a new one for there. So with those two, the 24-25 repairs and maintenance was a little over $5,000. This last fiscal year, those two came out to about 11.5, so about 130% increase in just overall maintenance and repairs and expenses. We generally see the maintenance repairs increase over the years with vehicles. This one was just, these two just seem to be more, for no apparent reason. It's just the way things go. Nothing that they've done, anything differently. So my thought is to replace the K9 one first. I've talked with Jacob down at Carlos, who takes care of the fleet management for government sales. They do have some on the lot that could be purchased immediately and then outfitted, hopefully be in service here in the next 2 to 3 months. And then I would wait probably till early spring of next year and then purchase a different other one, whether it be a Tahoe or a Silverado truck, just to kind of keep a couple trucks in the fleet's kind of nice. That's yet to be determined on that. And then put that into service, late fiscal year next year. I feel it's a good time to do this. It's not asking any more tax dollars. It's just reinvesting what's already been given back and where the county is currently sitting. And my proposal would be to get the board's approval to go ahead and purchase these and get them outfitted out of my current budget. And then we come back and see where things are at. Maybe April, May of this current fiscal year into next year. And if the budget can support it, great. We'll go forward. And if not, then we'll do a budget amendment then just to get through payroll and any other miscellaneous expenses, operating expenses that come up. I know over the past few years I've made some purchases, assuming this board's not 100% okay with, and then move forward with regardless. I feel we're in a good spot equipment wise at our office. We've updated weapons platforms from tasers to rifles, shotguns, and handguns. We've got new body cameras. We're sitting well with in-car camera systems and general basic equipment. So I don't have anything on my horizon that I'm looking at purchasing this year as a major expense. Partially due to the budget decrease I incurred this year, but I still think we're going to be okay. No one has a crystal ball to see what overtime is going to do and any big things that come up, but overall we're sitting pretty well. That's why I felt like now is a good time to bring this request to the board and allow me to move forward as this fiscal year moves on with my budget. And if it supports it, awesome. I'm not optimistic that it will, but you never know what comes up. And if it would be, that'd be great. But knowing that if it doesn't, then we submit a budget amendment request just to get through the payroll and the fixed expenses.
Nope, that's exactly where I was gonna be at. So, the second one, when would you need permission for that one?
I'd be looking at, on my mind, how I've got it is probably order window opens up typically September, October. To get the order placed, you take delivery, which I need to want to know then. So make sure we make the order through Lowers, which goes through Carl's, and I'm going to be able to be good on that order. Take delivery, hopefully May of next year, and get the upfitting done and get all that stuff done. So that's what I'm asking for both of them to be done now, and then I can keep the board up to date where we're at, when I would do that. Just in case something would come up, I can pull the trigger sooner if I need to.
On the Durango that Johnson drives, you're gonna sell that one?
So yeah, I'd look to sell that one. It's a good question. And then I probably put KJ's, put that as a spare, keep it completely outfitted. And then the current spare is 14 Ram, 150,000 miles. I'm looking to sell that one. So it's nice to have a spare. I know it's more added expense here and there, but it has been nice to have over the past 2 or 3 years to have something patrol ready. You just pop their tablet in there and it's good to go. So that'd be the plan on that one. Based on miles, we replaced it. It goes into service late spring, early summer of next year, and that will probably have close to 125,000 on it, which is still less than what we currently have. And the reason to space them out is so the in-service dates months apart to get back on somewhat of a normal track on replacement, so they don't rack up miles accordingly.
Anybody else have any comments? The board has to give permission for vehicles.
Sure.
I think one is probably in the budget. I don't know about the second one.
Yeah, and do I think looking at things, I keep pretty tight tabs on my budget. With the unknown overtime, if it stays historically how it's been over the past 3 to 5 years on an average. There's a very good possibility one could be in there, the upfitting could be close, but it might be there. Again, we've updated a lot of things, so our upfitting costs, and I've added about 3%, so upfitting costs, you're probably looking at 30,000. But maybe less because we're able to transfer some of the current equipment we have out of the spare into the new one. I mean, as far as mobile routers, potentially the in-car system, the radio, the in-car video system, things like that can be transferred over.
Any other feelings, comments?
Sounds like a good plan to me.
How many Tahoes do we have now?
I'm trying to think how many we don't have, it'd be easier for me to think about that.
Probably have.
Mine is not, AJ's is not, Stevens is not. So 3 of the 10 are in service. We've got, and I'm counting the new one that's been delivered, just waiting for Carl's to bring it up this week and we go up and get done. So 3. So we got 7 Tahoes.
Would it be beneficial to not have all Tahoes?
No. I feel full-size vehicles is the best option for us, whether they be Tahoes or trucks. The price difference between Tahoes and trucks is a few $1,000s. It's not huge. It's nice to have some trucks in the fleet. I kind of leave it up to the deputy, how they get comfortable. It's nice with the Tahoes, to keep everything out of the dust and out of the elements and as much as you can. But we do see a need for a truck here and there in the fleet. With the equipment we haul and stuff that we have, a full-size vehicle is the best option to have, in my opinion.
But I think his plan was to keep 2 trucks.
At least one for sure.
For sure.
When I'm up and mine's due, I plan on replacing mine with a truck, hopefully. That's the plan. Kate and I have had a discussion. She likes hers. There's a nice need to have. That's why it's nice to have the spare as a pickup. That's why I'm not gonna replace it with a Charger or a Durango or something like that.
If we work on a budget amendment, say this fall, and then potentially another one in January, how long do you want to take your budget until you request a budget amendment?
Let's just, hypothetically speaking, overtime stays historically how it's been. I feel comfortable going till late winter, early spring perhaps. I do have to have it eventually because we got a grant last year that's got to be put in, which I know is gonna happen. I'm not worried about that. So I know what the board's thoughts and how many you plan on doing. I know it's always as little as possible. I get that.
I guess the question is, are you guys okay with 1, 2, or none? 1 would be here within weeks.
I talked to Jacob on Wednesday. He's got some in the lot. I can pull the trigger today, get the invoice one probably this afternoon. But road ready on the road, realistically speaking, I'm looking at September. That's just knowing how these outfitters work and how fast things go. But invoice and stuff paid for within probably, next month and a half, 2 months.
Has it got anything or Scott or?
Well, I'd be in favor, I guess, I mean, at 1 right now without, and then looking to see what the budget looks like before. That other one just, I don't like the idea of doing a budget amendment to have to do 1 to get the second one.
Yeah, I would agree with 1 for now. Yeah, I should do this 1 for now.
Is that a motion to approve a purchase? I mean, do you have prices?
Yeah, I don't have current model year pricing be the same as what we just spent, 54,740, because I'd go ahead with replace the K9 one first. And then, so if you want to do not to exceed amount, I would go call 55,000 and 30,000 to stay around there. I mean, I feel that's a fair number. So 55,000 for the vehicle, and then, the outfitting is, I'd say 30.
So not to exceed 90 grand.
I think that'd be fair enough, fair number.
2026.
2026 Tahoe, correct.
Is that a motion by a board member? Not to exceed 90,000.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Isaac to approve of a vehicle purchase for the sheriff's department not to exceed $90,000 for a 2026 Chevy Tahoe. We got to keep our equipment up. It is our first line of defense, safety for our citizens and traveling public. And you're gonna get rid of the 21 Durango?
Correct.
Eventually.
Yes.
Any other comments, concerns? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion's
I
carried.
appreciate it very much, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, we continue to have the talks. So
Yep.
really, anything other wrong with the truck, the 21 that KJ drives? Without all
It's
the-
going into Wayne's here, whenever they get into schedule for another $3,000 worth of work. We just put about 3,000 into it 3 or 4 months ago, so it's just, the gas tank is sucking itself in. Why? No one knows. And mine's a 19 and I've got 10,000 less miles. It's just, you don't know.
You're just Chevy?
Mine's a Ram, they're both Rams.
They're both right.
Mm-hmm. So she takes very, very good care of her stuff. She's very particular. So, yeah.
Sorry. Thank you.
Do you want me to be part of this next week part or not?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yes. We lost our person.
Okay, I could just do where the sheriff was to track him down.
I don't mind it.
Maybe we should see.
We tried that last week.
It's in the auditor's office.
You wanna do the opioid advisory stuff or wait?
Yeah, we could, quick.
Actually, take 1 or 2 minutes.
Review and consider the opioid advisory committee recommendation, renew the contract with Pathways using opioid funding.
So yeah, I would just say, opioid committee met, 4 of the 5 of us are sitting here now on the committee. So we met last week in my office on Thursday morning. Had a good discussion about the current state of the money and the money that continues to trickle in. We had 2 recommendations from the board. One was to authorize up to $10,000 to be spent by public health for any programs they may put on or any staffing they may use in opioid that's related. And the second one was to approve a new contract with Pathways. This is the same program, Too Good for Drugs, we've been doing in schools, elementary schools, but the last couple of years. We did increase the hours from, I believe, 150 to 280. So almost double the amount of hours we've currently been spending, and the contract went from not to exceed 11,000.
Oh, you already got that?
Exactly where I should probably look it up.
Is there a motion to approve one at a time here, the Pathways contract, Too Good for Drugs, using opioid funding? Is there a second?
We need to authorize you. perhaps.
Authorized chair and signature. Please.
And it went from 150 hours to 280 hours. And it went from last year roughly 11,000 we allocate up to this year 17,901.
Is there a second on the Pathways, Steve? Motion by Isaac, second by Steve to renew the contract with Pathways with those said hours and amounts. Authorized chair signature, any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. The second one then is to authorize up to $10,000 from the opioid funds for the opioid prevention program offered by Public Health of Chickasaw County.
So. Right.
Motion by Scott, second by Travis to authorize up to $10,000 from opioid fund to Public Health Department. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried.
And thank you. And just for the public listening and for the newspaper, as of last week, the fund had roughly $103,000 in it. And you guys just authorized up to almost 28,000. So if we spend all that this fiscal year and get none in, which we continue to have money trickle in, we should have about 75,000 left in the fiscal year still.
All right, thank you. Next thing is 10:09, a possible closed session under Iowa Code 21.5, Section 1K, reference Iowa Code 22.750, to discuss updated security procedures at county-owned property. Just a quick update, I hope, and some things hopefully coming out of the closed session this time to move forward with. Is there a motion to enter closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Isaac to enter the closed session at 10:10 here. Iowa Code 21.51K. Roll call, Travis.
Aye.
Isaac.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Jake, aye. Motion is carried. We do request the attorney, the sheriff, and our IT consent. Yes, you can. One second here, I gotta get this closed off. I have 11:04. We're back in normal session on July 20th. Is there a motion that came out of closed session?
I'll make a motion to enhance security at the sheriff's office.
And give permission to IT to work on that stuff?
Yeah.
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Isaac, to give permission to our IT department to enhance IT stuff at the sheriff's office. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye, anybody opposed? Motion carried. One more item that was in there, which was also listed on the agenda, was discuss and approve contract with NGT, Next Generation Technology, for countywide IT support. And authorized chair's signature. We have an 11-page contract here that was been reviewed by the county attorney, and the board members had a copy of it. We're gonna bring them on for an onboarding charge of $4,250, a one-time fee, to get remote work to capture and document infrastructure, functional and governance details of systems as needed for NGT to provide the service. They do have a breakdown of hourly support if needed, and they will have a monthly account charge of $360 per month for monthly account review meetings, review of support and service matrix, project status updates, coordination, cybersecurity and risk management discussion, follow-up action items, ongoing account management, and I might have missed one or two things. NGT is based out of Buffalo Center, Iowa. Our IT contractor has been working with them for a couple of months now to get this contract to us. I don't know if he left that, but I can get it signed.
I have one here.
The one with Jake's name on it?
Oh, I have no one more.
No, okay.
This is for backup, standby.
Backup, standby,
For
safety,
Danny's position.
yes.
Yeah. It's just in case something happens to him, if he's unavailable, it's a backup, standby, safety message.
Yeah, we're not, these are, you're right, a backup to our current FX 2020. Any board discussion on this contract with NGT for countywide IT support as a backup to what we currently have? This was kind of spelled out to us in the ISAC assessment. If something would happen with our current IT provider, this is a backup to have somebody up and ready if that would occur.
Make a motion to approve the contract with Next Generation Technologies with the board signature. Or chair signature. sorry.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Isaac, to approve the contract with NGT for the countywide IT support as a backup to what we currently have. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. All right. Discuss October 5th, 2026 quarterly installment payment that the cities are obligated to make to the EMS department under the 2080 agreement. Joel, you got any recommendations? The balance is $521,106.60.
Yeah, so that was as of
July
that was
5th.
as of July 15th.
Yes.
The ambulance down payment of 67,000 had came out by that point. What hadn't come out yet was the insurance, the yearly insurance of 55,400. So that will be coming. I guess just to keep you guys informed about expected expenditures. We will need to look at purchasing the chassis for the ambulance. coming up in, sometime January, February, after the new model years are out. The bid on that was less than 70-some thousand, so, just, I guess, so you guys are aware. One other project that we've had and been looking at doing was climate controlling the shop because of our medications. We talked about it last year. We went with a generator to supply power. Anticipating the air conditioning for the shop being somewhere in the 14 to 16,000 neighborhood. I don't know where that comes from. I guess my initial thought on this is it is a county building. If something would happen to the ambulance service, the county retains ownership of that building. Should that be coming out of, say, my or our EMS account? We've discussed that a few different times, and then ultimately it's up to the board's decision where that funding comes from. But if it does end up coming out of our pool cash, that would be another expenditure that we could potentially see in the near future. So, 521, 521-106. I think we're fine for now, but like I said, I just wanted you guys to be aware of what future expenditures are coming out.
So just to recap, we only told the 6 cities and us to budget for one full payment at the rate of the January 5th payment. With the additional, I think it's 5% for the 2080. January also shows, I think it's the 5th year of operation. At some point, if we hear anything or not, we'll see if the cities continue on with the current verbiage in 2080. But I would agree. I don't think a payment is requested, should be requested at this time. I think we always said 500,000 was maybe the new normal. I think we look at this again October 19th and see where we're at for a potential January 5th. But I don't think we need an October 5th payment.
The only question I have, what is 5% more?
That's whatever was budgeted. How much money would be the 5% more on January 5th?
Well, each one's payment increased 5%.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out.
I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, I don't
either, and
That's the max we can ask for, but
Yeah.
we don't have to ask for that, so.
but I was just wondering as far as,
How much it would
Like
collect?
200, was it 271,000 if everybody paid a full payment?
I would say.
Under
to
the
that.
current, if we had 5% of that would be pretty close.
I know just us, it's like
It's
100.
5% every year, right? So then. So the max could be, so that compound quite a bit, but
Yeah, I didn't have the paper with me, sorry.
What's ours? We just looked at that number for the,
70,500
I think you got 72,000 for that one quarter, right?
that was quarter of a quarter.
Yeah.
We have one payment out a year and one out of well services.
So 7501 times 2.
72,000.
So our payment's 141,
well, what I was looking at
and that's 40%.
is, are we going to need the full payment in January? If we minus 5%,
So I would say approximately the total payment's about 270, give or take.
yeah, I'm just trying to figure out in good faith to the cities, if we take it now, or if we take it in January.
I don't think we need it now, but that's just my 2 cents.
Well, either way, we're gonna need it.
Most likely, yes. When did you say that? When's the chassis due?
Chassis will be ordered, when the next model year comes out. We anticipate this fall, take delivery on it as late as we possibly can. I would say probably by next spring. That way we own it as little time as possible to keep the warranty as current as possible to get it into the build process. So in theory, we may not end up paying for that chassis until potentially April of 27. So
I just don't see that, Travis, I just don't see we adding that much money to our fund now when it's 521. Or are you even saying a partial payment now? I don't think we need the 270 for the next 3 months. That's just me.
Well, I'm just trying to help save the cities even a little bit of money and us.
Say take it before the end of the year, before
Yeah.
5% kicks in again, is that what you say?
Yeah,
But that 5% only kicks in if we say it kicks in, and we don't have to.
Yeah. Correct. Good point.
I don't think it's needed right now. I think we'll wait.
Scott, you got anything you want to know or?
I don't think we need to know.
Yeah, so we can all make a partial payment request, a 10% payment request. Any board member who thinks the payment's requested for October 5th, otherwise I'm not hearing any, I guess. Was Travis?
I'd like to hold off, and I mean, still don't know, we're going with that 501c3, it's a broken record, but
They've,
I think there is plenty of businesses in town that would like
and I
to,
agree. So that's been one of my bigger frustrations. Feels like forever, but at least over the last 2 years, seems like every time we take a step forward, we get knocked back too, but it's been long enough since the Friends group was created, that now we are having to re-meet and resubmit bylaws because it has been so long. And we're in that process again. But you are correct, when it is done, there is a lot of support out there, and the goal is, once we start this process, get rendered drawings of what it's going to look like, the fundraising campaign kicks in, and we do really well with that. So you're 100% right. Hopefully, with a little bit of work, we'll be able to not use as much of the money.
what maybe your thoughts are at this point, that this first ambulance is probably not gonna, 501c3 won't be done soon enough, so maybe the next one.
It better be. That's all I got to say, is it better be. And so the good part about going forward is, barring no major issues, the next ones will be remounts, which will be cheaper, you know. So if we're gonna have an aggressive fundraising campaign, I would do it for this one.
So then the consensus of the board is then to have a payment and have them send out letters to the cities to notify them that there will be no payment.
We need that in the motion, if we could.
I believe there's motion.
Cleaner, motion by Steve.
I'll second.
Motion by Steve, second by Isaac, to send out letters to our 6 2080 cities that no payment is requested this time. You put in that verbiage though that we could request one for the January 5th, and you give the number 521-10660. So yeah, we're gonna waive it again. Revisit this on October 19th. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Thanks, Joel.
Yeah.
I just want to state again for the record that we have a year and a half left almost on this. And last time we had no choice but to do this, in my opinion, and it was quite a bit of stress on a lot of people, including myself, being brand new here to try and get this done under the wire. And we have two communities that are not part of this agreement, and if we're gonna go to a more countywide system and fund it differently, or however we're gonna do it, we all know what's coming for city budgets and the county budgets in the coming years. So the sooner we get together and figure out what the path forward is with this, in my opinion, the better off everyone's gonna be.
I have a meeting with Joe on Friday.
And I don't know if that involves EMA, 911,
Yep.
rescue squad, all those other providers. But I think it's at some point in the next 6 months, someone probably needs to start looking at this and inviting stakeholders to a meeting to express opinions and figure out how we're gonna move forward.
I initial that last week.
Yeah, and that's, excuse me, I think that's always kind of been the idea is within the last year, we start to work at that and look at it. And in the original document, though, it can be extended, correct, if nobody pulls out of it. So we are a little bit safeguarded there, but your honors are right, if we start changing a bunch of, you know, a bunch of the layers, so to speak, then yeah, ample time is great.
I think even if we don't do nothing to it, I think we need to move from a calendar year to a fiscal year.
I wish
To make it a little bit more cleaner on the percent of capture and maybe revisit the 750 threshold.
Yeah.
I think those two changes are needed for sure, along with seeing if there's any issues without our friends to our other two cities, you know, I think. And see what the appetite is, I guess, moving forward. So, but yeah, we are gonna start that conversation soon.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
A couple more things here. Review and adopt resolution 720-26-46, changing fixed assets, vehicle equipment capitalization policy.
So, about a month or two ago, the private auditor was at the, doing some pre-checking here at the county, and I guess prior to that, she had sent me a note that the, Office of Management and Budget has increased the threshold for capital assets to 10,000. Now, in the past, we had always taken anything that was purchased as far as an asset, you know, like a server or something, anything over $5,000, car, whatever, then I would put it on the financial statements. Well, now they want to raise that amount to 10,000. And at first she said July 1st of 2025, which was last year. And I had told her that I had already entered all my stuff in. I do mine on a monthly basis to keep up with everything. So then she goes, well, then you start July 1st of 2026. And you guys remember in the department head meeting, I had told you that the new capital assets was going to go to 10,000. Now, the difference between fixed and capital. Fixed, all assets are fixed. You purchase an asset, you know, a computer for $1,000, that is something of value you have. But are you gonna put it on an inventory for insurance purposes? Or am I gonna put it on the financial statements? And we just put it on the inventory sheet, it's a fixed asset. If I put it on the financial statements, then I capitalize it, so then it's a capitalized asset. So that's the only thing. And then also I took a resolution. Obviously this was done in the past, and the prior auditor had, you know, said that it's going to replace a certain resolution. So the resolution that was in the fixed asset book said I was working out of was 12/28/2081, changing fixed assets capitalization policy. So this resolution 720-2646 is going to replace that resolution. And the biggest difference, I checked with secondary roads and everything, the DOT ones that are down below, the assets down below, like the right of way, the bridges and the culverts and everything, nothing has changed there. I did add a little verbiage at the end just to let you know how this process works. You know, when a department purchases anything over 10,000, we usually discuss how long is it gonna last, you know, to figure out the lifetime, to see how long I'm gonna depreciate it out. So it does have a process that we go through, and also a reminder that if you do purchase anything over 10,000, make sure I'm aware of it. And along with Heartland Insurance, because more likely it needs to be, you know, something separate. Not all, but some. So just check it out. So anyways, this is the new resolution, and if you guys could adopt it today, I would really appreciate it.
Is there any more discussion, or is there a motion to approve resolution 46?
So. Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Travis, to approve resolution 7-20-26-46, changing fixed assets vehicle equipment capitalization policy, is comply with the Office of Management budget. Replacing resolution 12/28/20-81. Any other discussion? If not, roll call. Scott?
Alright.
Travis? Isaac? Steve? Jake, resolution's been adopted. Committee assignments, Travis, had anything?
No.
Scott?
Yes. I had Thursday. Had a meeting with Intercog, RTA board Thursday. We passed the latest transportation planning package. That was about it. It was about a 13-minute long meeting. It really, Roman was on there, gave an update on a couple of projects we're doing in the county, and that was it. So.
Steve, everything? Isaac? I had a courthouse security meeting last Wednesday, but the whole thing was in closed session, so I cannot report on that. Discuss future agenda items. Anything that's out there yet for next week that either Sheila or myself needs to bring back to us? If not, is there a motion to adjourn? Second. Motion by Scott, second by Isaac to adjourn at 11:27. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried.
There's three.